Grace through you. Abundance for leaders under real pressure. Blessing with a job description. You can love Jesus and still feel the pinch in your chest when you ask God to bless you. Responsibility does that. It narrows your focus to what you cannot control. It turns prayer into a quick grab for relief. It whispers that if God does not come through soon, you will have to clamp down and manage life with white knuckles. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8, NIV. You already know the meaning of the verse. The question is what you do with it when pressure gets close. This promise is not permission to chase comfort as the goal. It is a reminder that God's generosity has direction. He gives what you need so you can show up for good work, even when you do not feel like you have extra. And if you are honest, that is where the tension lives. You want God's help, but you also want the kind of control that keeps you from needing help. When cash flow pressure tests your trust. Picture a late-night office with the lights down low and your screen doing all the talking. The room smells like cold coffee. Your desk has a stack you promised yourself you would clear. Your eyes bounce between the numbers and the calendar. Payroll sits 2 days away. A client payment is late. Another client wants to talk about scope, which is code for they want more, and they do not want to pay for it. You click refresh on the bank screen like it might change if you stare long enough. It does not. This is where leaders start making quiet vows. I will cut giving until things stabilize. I will stop being generous with my time because I cannot afford interruptions. I will get sharp with my team because kindness feels expensive right now. You call it wisdom. Sometimes it is fear wearing a suit. In this exact kind of moment, 2 Corinthians 9:8 does not float above your real life. It steps into the room and challenges your assumptions. God can supply what you need when you need it, so you can keep doing good with a steady heart, not a clenched jaw. Here is the honest line most leaders do not say out loud. When cash feels tight, giving starts to feel like duty. That is not a character flaw. It is a formation moment. It reveals what you believe about God's ability and your need for control. Craftsmanship leadership. Build a heart that gives cheerfully. Craftsmanship is slow on purpose. A craftsperson does not chase shortcuts. They choose the right materials. They keep their tools sharp. They work the grain instead of fighting it. They pay attention to small angles because small angles decide whether the finished piece holds together. Generosity is crafted the same way. A cheerful giver is not someone who never feels the squeeze. A cheerful giver is someone who has practiced open-handedness long enough that it starts to feel normal, even when it costs them. They learn to see giving as a chance to participate with God, not a chore to get done. If you lead people, you know this pattern in every other area. Culture does not change because you wish it would. Culture changes when you repeat small, aligned decisions until they become the way things work. Your heart works like that too. What you practice in private becomes what you bring into public. So if pressure keeps turning you into someone you do not recognize, the answer is not more willpower. The answer is a new habit that shapes you from the inside out. Ask God to reshape your motives, not just your outcomes, because a leader can give and still feel resentful. A leader can serve and still keep score. A leader can write the check and still secretly believe they deserve applause. Cheerful giving starts when you stop trying to protect your image and start letting God form your heart. Your calendar and your wallet as kingdom tools. Most leaders say they value generosity. Then they build a life that leaves no room for it. They schedule every hour like a machine. They allocate every dollar to their own safety. They say yes to what keeps things running and no to anything that feels uncertain. And then they wonder why giving feels forced. You cannot live every good work on leftover energy and leftover margin. So choose an approach that is more like a craftsperson at a bench than a frantic manager chasing emergencies. Set your life up so generosity is built in, not tacked on. Look at your week and decide where love gets your best attention, not what gets your last scraps. Put one real block of time on the calendar for people, not production. A coaching conversation. A check-in with a team member who looks worn down. A moment to be fully present with your spouse. A slow dinner with your kids where your phone stays out of reach. Then look at your giving rhythm and make it intentional. Decide what you will give to your local church and the needs around you, not when you feel rich, but as a steady act of trust. If you only give when the month feels easy, you will train your heart to believe God is only faithful in easy months. This verse is not calling you to be reckless. It is calling you to be released. Relationships that breathe when you stop gripping. Pressure does not only tighten budgets. It tightens your voice, your patience, and your capacity to listen. You carry work worries into the kitchen and answer your spouse with half a sentence. You look at your kids, but you are not really with them. You see your team as tasks and problems instead of people with fears, hopes, and limits. You start treating clients like threats instead of neighbors you are called to serve with honesty. This is why the all things at all times part matters. God's supply is not only financial. His grace includes what you need to show up as a person who can love well. The ability to stay kind when you are tired. The courage to tell the truth without crushing someone. The humility to apologize fast. The strength to pause before you snap. Scarcity turns everything into a transaction. Sufficiency turns work into a place where people can breathe. If you want a concrete test, listen to how you speak when you feel squeezed. Your tone will tell you what you really believe about God's care. From prayer lists to purpose pipelines. Keep praying for blessing, but let your prayers grow up. Instead of only asking for relief, ask for the kind of supply that makes you useful in love. Instead of only asking God to protect you, ask Him to make you generous without keeping score. Instead of only asking for more, ask for a heart that sees what you already have as a gift meant for service. And when giving feels like obligation, do not fake cheer. Tell the truth. Name the resistance. Ask God to change your posture. Then take one small step that matches the new posture you want. Not a grand gesture. A consistent decision that retrains your reflexes. This week, decide on one good work you will not negotiate away. Maybe it is giving to your church on purpose. Maybe it is helping someone in financial need. Maybe it is giving your best attention to someone you usually rush past. Write it down, pray over it, and treat it like part of your calling. The next time cash flow pressure hits, do not punish people to ease your anxiety. Pause, breathe, and ask, what decision would I make right now if I trusted God to supply what is needed for obedience? Then make one generous move within your means. and do it quietly. Open your hands before pressure teaches you to close them.